Welcome back. It's Chris Waston. In today's video, we're going to talk about one of the most underrated, underused tools. If you're looking to develop your own apps using AI with no coding experience or skill set necessary, you don't want to miss today's video. We're jumping into Canva Code, my secret weapon, and one of the best tools to come out related to AI and how you can grow your real estate profession. So by now, you may know that I am a huge fan and I would consider myself a power user on Canva. So when they had Canva Create a couple months ago and they announced the new features, one of the things I knew was going to be a game changer was Canva Code. And we're going to jump right in so you can see exactly what it is. Canva Code is a no-code editor that can create apps for you right native into Canva and that you can put onto your website and use it for different things. So I'm just going to pull up their website here. You can kind of see what it says. AI code generator, reimagine how you bring ideas to life, build interactive experiences with just a conversation, and seamlessly integrate them into websites, presentation, docs, and more. No coding needed. So they give you some examples here of things that you can do. Interactive menus. You can build up websites, countdown timers, you name it. And it really works by you just telling the generator what you're looking to build. It will then start building it out. You can see the code that'll be created, and then it will spit you out an actual prototype or workable, model for what you asked it to build. And from there, you can customize it as needed, and then you can publish it to a website, use it in a presentation, etc. It's very, very slick. And we're going to get into the good, the bad, the ugly. And it's not really good, bad, ugly. Maybe it's just good and some limitations and how I'm looking to use it myself. So let's just jump right in. We just talked about what it is. Let's just see how it works and how you actually use it. So when you go to canva.com, when you go to this button, this box at the top where it says, what will you design? You want to click into this, but then you want to make sure on Canva AI. So not on your designs or templates. You want to be on Canva AI. And then you have to click this button on the far right, code for me. Once again, you'll see that it'll ask you, it will give you some examples of things that you can create. And, these are cool, but and we can try one of these. Let's just see it really quickly so you can just see how it works. And then we're going to get into some examples of things that I've created and why I created what I have created and what I plan to do with it. So let's just do this. Let's go with, let's see. I'm going to go with a fun memory matching game of real estate terms that a new real estate agent should know. So that's all you got to do. And you can give it more detail too. So if I wanted to say, hey, make the color scheme black and white or red and blue, or, I can give it that kind of design. If I say make it look modern, I can do that as well. I can even say, make it look old school. I'm going to say, give it a retro look. And let's see what it does. So you click the submit button. It'll analyze what you put. It'll say, okay, yep, I'll go ahead and create it. And then it's going to actually go ahead and start having the lines of code. And you won't need to use these lines of code, but it'll just go through and you can see how it's working. So let's give it a second just to finish creating. All right, so you see it's made our retro matching game. So let's just see how it works. third-party account that holds money during the transaction, appraisal, no, escrow, third-party account, boom. And you see we got that right. This is pretty cool, right? So let's say you like this and then maybe you just want to practice or something. We can actually then click use in a design. It'll open up into a new window. You can double click if you want to actually interact with it. But you can actually add things to this. So let's say I want to resize this and put, I'm just going to put a text element. Grow with Chris's, I don't know, I need two S's, game. I can do that. So then if I want it, I can actually make this into, if I want to share this as a presentation, as a website, etc. What I've been doing with a lot of tools is put them onto websites. So if I want to publish it, I'll just go here to publish as a website. I have my default, website through Canva, but I also have my own website, which I recommend you do when you can actually set up your custom domain or a subdomain when you're building tools that you want to use for yourself. For now, I'll just leave it on here. I can publish it. And now if I want to actually visit the site, here we have the actual full game. All right, Grow with Chris's game. Remember we typed that up top. We can go ahead and get started. Now, you may notice that the sizing is a little bit off. We can actually do some things to edit that and make it better. But I just wanted you all to see how this works. So coming back to our presentation here, let's talk about the different use cases. I think this is important, and this may help you think about how to use this for yourself. So you can definitely use it for some personal things, things that you may want to use in your personal life. As far as like real estate and finance, one of the best uses I've found is creating calculators and things to represent, growth or payments over time. And I'm going to show you some cool things that I've created. You also can use it to make up mock tools. So I was having to make a mock credit report type of app to, let's say if I want to show a class or demonstrate to a client how their credit score is impacted by certain things. I had to actually generate that. Also a mock banking app. As you see from the example we just did, you can also make mock study tools like we just created. So I want you to also go through just this workflow so as you're thinking about this, because hopefully your brain is starting to, kind of percolate with some ideas. You think of the idea of like, what is a useful tool that you actually need that maybe you don't know how to code yourself. That was me. I had all the ideas in the world, but I'm not a heavy coder. So being able to actually code applications was something that I did not know how to do. So then you come to Canva Design, you tell it what you want. It then generates the design. You link it to the website, and now your new tool is ready to be used and by yourself or a client or anyone else. Another workflow that I think is very, how a lot of people are going to start using this, myself included, is that you pull your audience into some sort of opt-in page in which they opt in to get access to the tool that you created. That makes sense? So you can use this to create lead magnets in a matter of seconds that are high quality, that are unique to you, that are branded properly for your business, and also help you be useful to those that you're looking to serve, right? Whether it's clients, your team, whoever may fall into that category. Coming back up here to some use cases. So let's look at some of the stuff that I've created. So this is one of my home buyer quiz that I created. And let's just look at what this does. So you click start quiz. Are you a first time home buyer? I'm going to go with yes. What type of property interested in? Multifamily. Ideal price range. So you can select what you're looking to buy. Continue. Do you know your credit score range? Below 650. Have you been pre-approved? Not yet, but planning to. Do you have money saved or down payment? I'm going to say no, not yet. Timing, how soon are you looking to buy? I'm going to say 6 months. Currently work with an agent? No. Would you like a free consultation? Yes. And then I'm going to go ahead and just put some information in here. All right. And then what it'll do after you submit that, information has been submitted and you get this quiz results, right? You've taken the first important step by assessing your readiness with some focused preparation in key areas. You'll be on your way. So this is going to give you a different response based off of what was actually submitted by the buyer. And what's also cool about this is that I have it where you will actually get an email response sent to me when someone fills this out. And here you see the response that I got. You see we have by Grow with Chris, all the information that I put there. And you also can see the, I'm sorry, I'm looking for the result. You can see the category here, needs more preparation, right? The score that they got based off of this. So this whole thing you just saw was created by Canva. You also can have it where a person can click to download this home buyer's guide. So pretty cool stuff, right? Imagine you're working with someone or someone goes to your website, you send them to your home buyer qualification quiz and they fill it out. This is better than your typical form that you may just create on your own, which is just forms, but it's a little interactive and it's designed nicely. A couple other things I've created. I'm having a compound investment growth calculator as well, where you can say, what's your initial investment? Let's say you want to start off with 1,000, and then you're going to make a regular monthly contribution of 200. And let's say you are putting out your annual returns and your investment period, so you can just see how that money grows over time. Once again, created within Canva Code. This is another one that I have here, Freedom Builder, monthly investment planner, where you can actually create plans where you can give it a name, the target amount that you are looking to maybe save over time, how many years you have to make it. Say I want to save $10,000 in 15 years, and I'm expecting to get maybe a 6% return. Well, what it'll do with that plan is it will actually show you what you need to invest monthly over that 15-year period. That makes sense? So this is for someone, and you may be wondering where these are coming from. These are just different tools I've been making for different uses. But let's say you wanted to plan for retirement or help someone plan for retirement, and you want them to see, like if they want to have $1 million by the time they're 65, helping them come up with a plan on what they would need to invest, every month or yearly or quarterly, etc. So hopefully your brain is starting to think like, wow, this is some cool stuff that you can actually develop with this app. Here's another thing. I made a mock banking app where you can actually see how certain things work on a bank. Different use cases there. Also, this is a very nice one here, the mortgage payoff accelerator, where you can put in information about the loan or the balance on the loan, whatever the interest rate was, the term, taxes, insurance, the start date. And then you can see here, if you put in the extra payment. So let's say you decide I'm going to make an extra payment of $500. What it'll do is it'll calculate how much time saved. That makes sense. So if you were to make a $500, payment extra per month, in addition to the monthly payment you already have, it can show you how much interest you'll save over time. I'll be making more videos on like why and how these tools could be useful. But right now I'm just showing you some things that I've created, and they all started here with Canva Code. So this thing is very, very powerful and very cool in what it can create. Now let's talk about some limitations here, because while this stuff is really, really cool, I do want to be honest about some of the things that I found to be very limiting. And I'll start with this concept of being able to export, data or things that you create. So, for example, on the investment plan, you'll see it has this export PDF button, but I still have not been able to get that to actually work. Even though you see it says PDF downloaded successfully, it doesn't actually kick it out. Same with the print function. Looks like it's going to do something, but it didn't. Email is also similar, in which it just did not work properly for me. So those are things that I found limiting overall with Canva Code. When I do things that require, or I ask it to have a print function or some kind of PDF or download, it just does not seem to work properly. Also, mobile responsiveness of Canva websites can be a bit hit or miss. So you remember from the retro real estate website that we just made, this spacing is not great. Now, if we came here, we can actually, here's what we can do to make this better. We can actually edit this. And I want to make the page longer. Drag this out. And I'll try to just make this a little bit better. Let's try to make this background color maybe match. And it doesn't match it all the way. But we can try to see what we can do there. You would think that would be an easier thing to do. Clearly it's not matching. But you'll just see this will make it a little bit better. So now if we go to publish, republish the site. What I found is when you go to the website, the app itself will actually, resize itself properly to fit its window. But some of these other elements don't. Now you can create menus and things like that. I'm not going to get into all that right now, but I've played around with it with sometimes, depending on how you make it. Like I've created stuff with like my picture on the left, and then when the screen is smaller, my picture is overlapping the app that I created. So you have to really be careful and play around with how you brand these things. On these sites for test purposes, I haven't really added much branding to it, but I know that I'll have to be careful with how I do it. Another limitation is that, let me first get my spelling right, limited integrations into CRM and other systems. So I'm sure we can do some things with Zapier and other things like that, maybe make some of this work. But what I found is that with certain forms, it does not integrate as easily as you may like. A good example of this is the home buyer quiz. Now, this is, to me, one of the better things I've been able to create, just because this is a real use and it's actually collecting information. What was interesting about this is that when I first created this, it did not work properly. People would fill this out and then I would not actually get the information sent to me. I then would go back, and I'm going to pull it up in just a second so you can see this. I would tell the code, hey, you're making mistakes. It's not coming to me. And then they actually revised it. And now it comes through this free service called formsubmit.co. Now that's cool for a free service, but as you're a professional, you kind of want to be able to control that data more on your own. And that's something that I hope that they come up with some solutions for, to where you can maybe integrate your own CRM. So when you create a form, whether this be an API, however the case may be, it goes straight into your CRM and not through a third party service, in which now I will have to figure out how to get that to, properly integrate with my CRM. So those are just some things that I have found to be a little bit limiting when it comes to it. And real quick, I want to just show you something here. You can actually go to the code. Oh, not there. I want to come back. You can see some of your previous conversations. Let me see if I can find this really quickly. So, okay. So you can see some of my previous conversations here. And I want to try to find that home buyer tool. Let me see. Can I find it? Can I find it? Okay, here we go. I think this is it here. So you can actually see when and let me actually come maybe to this one. Okay, so what you can do is after you do it, I told them how I wanted, what I wanted in the quiz. You can see this. It then created version 1. This looks great, but I haven't gotten the results. And I had to send me version 2. And then I think that one ended up working. That makes sense. So we can just start a new chat here. I'm actually going to go through one more example that may be more realistic and helpful. And then I'll give you my final conclusion here. So what I want to do is actually, let's create a financial. No, let's see this. Let's go with a questionnaire for a person to complete when evaluating a property to see if it is a good investment. And that's, it's very general, by the way. But we also could have got more deep on the, parameters around that. But let's just see what it comes up with. What if it was them that was sitting on that stand? What if it was them? All right, so as you can see, it's still going. 528 lines of code, and you can see it's made. And this looks very similar to my previous designs. I don't know if they just know how I like it, but let's just see. I'm just gonna put some information in here. Property age, I'm gonna go with 76 years. I'm very interested to see what it does here because I don't really know. Expected monthly rent. Let's just go with 3,000 down payment, 13%. We're gonna put it at 5%. Property tax, insurance, maintenance. Let's just put that at 6,000, maybe more. So you can see this thing, it's smart. It's pulling from a language model. I'm not sure which one. We're going to say nothing. And I'm just going to put some things on there. Comparable property sales. I forgot what I put, but I'm just going to go ahead and average comparable rent. We're going to say 3,200. Good school, shopping. Let's see, investment, primarily cash flow. And they may say this is not good, but let's just, go over. So, boom, evaluation complete. And this is what it kicked out just that quick. Right? Not bad at all. Let's see what happens if I click download. So nothing is happening. And this is once again one of those big issues that I don't like. So what I'm going to do is give it some feedback though, because if I want to use this, I want to be able to collect the information of the person who's actually using the tool so that maybe I can then follow up and offer my services to that person. So let's do this. This is good, but I need to collect the user's name, email, and phone number. So we need to collect that before they get the results. Also, the download for report button is not working. I'd like to have their responses sent to my email address and also send them their results to the email address that they entered. So you see that feedback? I'm telling them, hey, I need to be able to collect their information. I need to also, the download report button is not working, so you need to send them the results. Let's see what happens. So I'll give it this feedback, and it's going to actually read what I said and analyze it. I'll create a contact information section before showing results and explain the email functionality limitation. I don't want to explain the email functionality limitations to them, but let's see what it does. All right, so you can see this. This is very interesting. Did not want us to do this. Didn't like that. So let's see. I'm going to just pause it there. But you can see some of the limitations. That's what I was trying to show you. It's interesting that this says this because clearly we know that the home buyer quiz can send data to the end user, being myself. So we know that this is possible. We would just have to go through and keep playing with this. So maybe we'll come back with a part 2 to really figure out what's the exact language we need to say to the Canva code to just avoid this. Now, here's the thing about it. This is created really from scratch on our end. We just gave it a couple of sentences, and this is what it created. It does take a few minutes to do the different iterations, but I'm not mad at that. It's a worthy investment. And we also can do things like changing the fonts and things of that sort in color. In some ways, that's somewhat of a limitation because you can't do it straight in the Canva design like we probably used to if you are a Canva user. So you have to give it those design aesthetics inside of the actual prompt. Now, what I will say as I get ready to wrap up this portion of the video is that this kept a very similar theme to my previous tools. I don't think that is by accident because not everything looked this way. And there were some specific language and guidelines that I gave it to get the stuff to look this way. So I do think it's maybe pulling from previous things that we've done, which I can appreciate. But let's jump right back to the presentation to talk about our conclusions here. So we've covered a lot. I want to just kind of zoom out and zoom in as we get ready to kind of wrap this video up. So I think we covered a lot here. If you haven't used Canva Code before, I think you will be motivated to give it a try now. It can do a lot. It'll create pretty much anything, but the functionality is where it sometimes falls short. So this is not creating AI agents. I have not found it as a tool that can do a lot of research or create some kind of research tool, but it can create calculators and simple applications that you can use. I think the key to it is just how you choose to position this, how you link this to your current website and tools, and how you use this to really help those that you're looking to serve. This is Chris Watson. If you haven't already, hit the like and subscribe button, as well as if you would like to get a copy of my links to the tools that I've created, just simply hit the link below, and where you'll be able to get access to the Google Doc that'll basically give you some of the prompts I've used and some of the feedback. I'll give you some of a deep dive so that you can go ahead and recreate these things. Consider it a Canva Code starter pack that can help you get going. But I hope you found this video useful. I look forward to talking to you soon in the next video. Take care.